Mm.
A cheerful morning to all. I'm J. Malathi, Assistant Professor of CSE Department. On behalf of New Prince Shri Bhavani College of Engineering and Technology, I welcome you all for this international webinar on Knowledge 4.0 Micro Learning Critical Aspect of E-Learning, organized by the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome our chairman, Thiru K. Lognathan sir, the eminent man behind our success, our vice chairman, Mr. L. Naveen Prasad sir, our director, Mr. A. Swaminathan sir, and our principal, Dr. T. Saranan sir, who are behind the successful organization of this international webinar. Now, I am very much delighted to welcome our resource person, Dr. Vivekanand Padmanabhan sir, Senior Lecturer, Dean ICT, Isbat University, Kampala, Uganda, who has kindly consented to enlighten us today. I welcome you, sir, and I welcome all our head of our departments, staffs, and the students from our college and the various colleges and institutions who are eagerly joined in today's international webinar. With a spring in my step and passion in heart and a lit of my heart, I welcome the participants for micro learning. I congratulate all of you and I wish you all the remarkable success ahead. Thank you.
Now I'd like to welcome Dr. P. Shri ma'am, Department of Computer Science Engineering, to uh, uh, say a few words about the Dr. Vivekanandan Padmanabhan sir.
Welcome everyone. A very good morning to one and all present here. First, I thank you for joining us today's international webinar. I am Dr. P. Sridevi Purnalar. I am a professor of Computer Science and Engineering Department of New Prince Shri Bhavani College of Engineering and Technology. Our college is self-financial engineering college functioning from the academic year 2008. The institution was managed by Tirumati Abiranji Ammal Educational Society for providing the quality engineering education. The college has been approved by AICTE New Delhi and affiliated to Anna University, Chennai, ISO 9001 2015 certified and accredited by NAC, offering the 6 UG course of BE, ECE, EEE, CSE, MEC, and Civil, and BTech Information Technology, and 2 PG courses such as Master of Computer Application and Master of Engineering in Applied Electronics. The institution has primary objective of providing a quality engineering education for the students studying in all the engineering and technological stream. It also aims to provide an opportunity to utilize the physical facilities, human resources, knowledge resources available in educational institution to maximize the knowledge acquisition. Today, we are presenting a international webinar on Knowledge 4.0, Micro Learning Critical Aspect of E-Learning, organized by Computer Science Engineering, presented by Dr. Vivekanandan Padmanabhan sir. So our presenter is academic specialized in computer science, human resource management, and education. He is currently working as a senior lecturer, dean in ICT department, ISB-AT University, Kampala, Uganda. And he has 11 years of teaching experience in university in Ethiopia, Tanzania, Botswana, Nigeria, and Uganda. He did his PhD of specialization of cloud compute, cloud storage security based on trust, third party auditing, and did MTech in computer science and engineering. He has done Master of Arts in Education, MBA in Human Resource Management, and PG Diploma in Educational Administration and Supervision. He has published 25 international journal publications in the area of computer science, education, and human resource management. He has 8 international conference publication and participated 6 national level technical symposium in India. He presented a paper in emotional intelligence in human resource management, September 2018, and DISC profile assessment in HR Human Resource Management in September 2019 in Modern University for Business Science International Annual Business Conference, Kampala, Uganda. And he also presented the paper in a study on big data analytics techniques in Osaka, Japan in August 2015. He is a M-BIT, multi-braining integration techniques coach and trained by Dara Carotrice and Hadrin Hales in September 2019 in London, UK. He is a fitness enthusiast and trainer and has completed Oxygen Advantage instructor training in April 2019 in London, UK, with Patrick McGowan and Gray Cows. He is the first certified Oxygen Advantage instructor in India. He is a certified Chew running, Chew walking instructor trained by Dani Dreyer, USA in February 2018. He is a 4 minutes fitness instructor and he was trained by Dr. Katie Jeffy, Canada in 2019. He is certified a career analyst and did 2-day workshop trained by Ankit Agarwal and Vipin Prasant in Chennai, India from Ed Milestone and cleared the certification examination in January 2020. He is certified the content writer and did his certification from V-Skill India in April 2020. So we'll turn time over to the presenter, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Thank you
very much, ma'am. I think it was a long introduction. I'm very glad to meet you. And before starting the presentation, I would like to tell you about why did we. I want to tell you a few points. If you don't get my voice, please tell me. Let me know so that I can correct my mic or anything. And if there is anything, if my voice is not clear, please let me know. So that please immediately, so that I can correct it.
Okay, sir.
And we will have our QA session after the seminar. But I'll be asking you some questions in between for you to come up with some ideas, perspectives. It's all about perspectives. And I would request all of you to be open, free, and interactive. That is the purpose of any kind of intellectual sharing. When we are closed, when we are rigid, we tend to be not that. We will not benefit much from a lecture when we are closed. And this one, we should be open and free and interactive. And I want you all of you to be free and relaxed as if you're watching a movie, not something you're listening to a lecture. Okay. So please have that feel and don't feel that we are having a serious webinar where I'm telling you a lot of things. Feel free and think that you're watching a movie with copy of whatever it is. And I want you to have that perspective. And micro learning. Why did I select this topic? You may be thinking there are so many topics out there. Why should I be selecting this micro learning? The reason is now I want to select a topic. The first reason is the topic should be familiar with everybody. For example, there are 53 participants. I want each one of you to relate with what I'm saying, not only few. So it is not a webinar to prove my technical prowess. It is a webinar to share knowledge. This is what it is. So I'm not here to prove anything. I'm here to share what I know. And the second aspect is, now it's a time of COVID-19. We are moving towards e-learning. So I wanted to say something about e-learning, which is very important in this period. So, okay. What about now? Is it okay? Could you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. I can hear you.
Okay. And that is the reason I selected a topic on e-learning, so that we can learn something out of it and utilize it in your day-to-day life. So, but before everything, I want to do something. I wanted to ask you a question. Okay, I'll share the screen before starting. It will give you a perspective. It will give you. I just want to ask you something. I will give you something like 2 minutes time. Just think of the answer and write down. Just write down whatever you feel like. There are no right or wrong answers here. I want your perspective, your objective for attending this webinar. I'll tell you the reason for asking you this, but I want you to please write down that objective for webinar. Could you see the screen, right? The text document. Could you see the text document?
No, sir, I can't see your document, sir.
Okay. I'm sorry. Yes. Could you see it now? Huh?
Yes, sir, now I can see.
Yeah. Just please write down your answers. And you can use your phones or you can use your notebook or pen, whatever it is. I just want you to think of your objective for attending this seminar. Whatever comes to your mind, just write down. Huh? No need to think much. Okay. So I'll give you 2 minutes time. Then I will just get back your answers from some of you can share your answers. Please write. Please write down your answers. What is your objective for attending this webinar? Whatever comes to your mind, you as an individual will have different objectives. We don't have a common objective. You have a different objective. I have a different objective. So it will give you a perspective. Please write down whatever comes to your mind, and whatever you feel that this is whatever you feel like objective for this webinar. Please write down your answers. So finished conversation. I'm waiting for others to. I am waiting for just 2 minutes to complete. Okay, please stop it. Please stop it. Can we have some answers from you? Just you can share with me what is your objective for attending this webinar. Anybody, just unmute your mic and just tell me what is your objective? What was your objective for attending? What is the aim for attending this webinar?
So one of your participants from that webinar written like that, get knowledge over it is important. Okay,
the knowledge of e-learning is very important to everybody. So you wanted to learn about e-learning.
Yes, sir.
That's great.
Another one participants written like that. I think it is a learning in online, micro learning.
Okay. Malathi madam has given that they have a different view of e-learning.
Yeah,
sorry?
different view in e-learning that I want to share with my students.
That's great, madam. That's great.
Yes.
That's great. We're happy to know that. Okay. Anybody else? One more. Okay. Why I ask you this question is, we need to have an objective for everything. Whenever we are going for a webinar or anything, when we don't have an objective, how will we know that we have attained that? So you have an objective now. Then we compare ourselves, how far the webinar has been contributing towards the objective. So I'm very sure that this is going to help you a lot in your whatever objective you have. Okay. So So we're going to the lecture. Okay, micro learning. And what is the micro learning? I'll tell you an example. Micro learning is dividing or learning something in small chunks. Small chunks. For example, you want to know how to cook chicken curry, for example. Okay. So you want to cook. You want to know how to cook chicken. You go to the YouTube video, watch the video that demonstrates how to cook for 10 minutes. You learn it and start to cook. So we don't go for a cookery class to learn entire cooking. We just learn how to cook chicken. That is an example. That is micro learning. Okay. Another example. Many of us have a lot of hobbies. So you want to learn how to do gardening. So what we do? We just take a short course, a short video, or any kind of mobile apps. We learn something and we try to implement it. So what happens is, another example is spare tire. How do you change the tire in the car when you are driving? All this kind of aspects needs specific learning methodology called as micro learning. Okay, hope we understand what it is. So what we say here is, voice clear? Huh? Yeah. Necessary amount of information to help learners to achieve a goal. That's all. We have a goal in mind, and we learn something towards that goal. We are not learning everything unrelated things. We just learn. It's a targeted learning. Okay. So the micro learning involves learning in small steps. Small steps. A particular aspect of learning. We don't tend to learn everything. Okay. And goes hand in hand with traditional e-learning. So if somebody wants to learn a particular skill, the micro learning is a beneficial aspect. Okay. So what is the theory behind micro learning? Why does it work? What does it work? The concept is short repetitive learning increases long-term comprehension rate. And something which is very unfortunate in most of the learning processes, we have something called as cramming. We do the cramming. I will tell more about cramming, why cramming is not effective. What the micro learning does is, short repetitive learning increases long-term comprehension rate. I will tell you an example of a chicken curry, how to cook a chicken curry. So you watch a video, you watch it again, you do it, and when you're missing some point, you watch it again. What happens is, you'll be an expert in cooking chicken after a while. So we are learning in short chunks, short span of time. We are not putting in more hours for learning. This will increase the comprehension rate, long-term comprehension rate. So for example, you learn to cook chicken, you start cooking, you will not forget how to cook chicken till the end of your life. You will remember that. So it has a long-term comprehension rate. It's called as spaced learning. This concept is called as spaced learning. And this has been demonstrated by a German psychologist called as Hermann Ebbinghaus. Okay. So what he's saying here, you can see it here. What is this? You can read it. This. Learning is always better when small amount of study is done in a space of time, in a period of time, rather than studying everything all together. Do you agree on this? So this is what the Hermann Ebbinghaus, a German psychologist, suggested. So we should learn things in small chunks, not everything at the same time, to have a better comprehension. This is our this is the statistics. You can see here. This is the retention rate. If we forget 50% of what we learn within 1 hour of learning it, okay, unless we put into practice what is being learned. This is the study by Hermann Ebbinghaus of memory retention. Okay, quite unfortunate. This is the learning curve. What happens? How does the retention gets reduced after a period of time? The graph goes like this. After a period of time, what happens? When you go from 100 to 50%, then 50% to 30%. So what do you learn? Whatever concept you learn, whatever things, techniques you learn, whatever, the retention rate gets reduced after a period of time. Okay, this is what he says. Almost 60% of newly learned information is forgotten in the first couple of days. So it's quite a waste of time. Huh? If you put in a lot of effort to learn something, then what happens is we tend to forget it after some time, and it's again redoing things again and again. We are just reinventing the wheel. We are not doing something new. We are just reinventing the wheel. So this is a problem. So it is something like Applied Psychology, Journal of Applied Psychology says that learning in the bite-sized pieces makes the transfer of learning from classroom to desk 17% more efficient. It's quite interesting, right? That is why our traditional learning and teaching methodology won't work, and there is a less retention rate. The students lack sometimes interest in learning. The reason here is it is not micro learning, it's macro learning. I will tell you the difference between the both. What is the difference between the both? So, see here, this is something most of us can relate with. Attention spans are reducing, consumption is increasing, consumption of information is increasing, and the technology is keeping on changing, and traditional training does not work. So, for example, when I was studying in my college, they used to tell me, you take a dictionary, learn 10 words daily so that you can improve your vocabulary. I tried that. It was a big failure. Something like what happens is we cannot keep on learning things like that. It's something like spaced repetition. We have to revise things like that. So, for example, you are learning a vocabulary, 100 words. What happens is, so after a week or half a week, 80 to 90% of the information is lost. This is what they say. Okay, 80 to 90% of information is lost after a week time. Okay, so I wanted to ask you, cramming. What does that cramming mean? And cramming versus micro learning. What is cramming? As everybody else, when I was studying in my college days, I was a crammer. I was a crammer. Thing is that I was studying only for one reason, that is passing the exam. Okay, or whatever score it comes. I'm not worried much about the score. I want to pass. Okay. So this was just my goal when I was studying my engineering, just to pass the exam. I was just cramming. I used to cram right in the exam. Okay, when I pass, when I get the marks which I want, it's okay, I'm fine. The problem was, after some time, I couldn't remember anything what I learned. I couldn't remember anything. So when I went for teaching, after finishing my master's, I started to learn because I was teaching. So when I started to teach, cramming will not work. It will not work. Can you cram something and go to class and teach? The students will know that you don't know, you are not prepared for the topic. So I realized that the cramming is not a good strategy. Cramming means take your book and keep on reading things to retain something, whatever is possible. Write the exam, come. That's all. That is cramming. So macro learning is the opposite of cramming. We are not going to learn for exams or anything. We are going to learn for ourselves. We are going to learn in small chunks and utilize it, use it, and make it better. So we are not going to cram. Okay. So I just give you, cramming is ineffective in long term. I told you, after my engineering, I couldn't remember a single aspect of what I studied. I started to study only when I went for a job. So micro learning helps in long term retention. Okay. So please, I would suggest something in this. Whenever suggesting your students, don't say them to cram. Tell them that cramming is a big failure. It doesn't work for the long term. So maybe the cramming can be a survival strategy, but in the long term, it's not an effective way to learn things. So our attention span is reducing. I will tell. There's interesting statistics in this. Our attention span. Our attention span, they say, is something like 8 to 9 seconds on the average. 8 seconds is the average. You know the attention span of a goldfish. The attention span of a goldfish is 9 seconds. But our attention span of us now is 8 seconds. So our attention span is less than a goldfish. Okay. But don't ask me whether the goldfish will be able to do this webinar. It's not like that. The issue is that our attention span is reducing a lot. That is why they say this analogy that our attention span is less than a goldfish. Okay. And traditional training is not going to work, where the teacher keeps on talking something and the attention span is not there. It happens to most of us. We sit in the class. What happens after some time? We listen to the class for 5 to 6 minutes. After that, we go to our dream state. We keep on dreaming about our job, this one, and after some time, if somebody asks a question, then we come back to that. Oh, what is that? We are here like this. It happened, right? I will tell you an example. What happened to me? I was in my when I was studying my engineering. I told you how it was. I was sitting in the class as usual, and the entire class in my own dreams, as most of us. Okay, some are very attentive. I'm not saying that. And after the class, the faculty asked me, "What was the topic discussed?" He was not asking anything in the topic. He was just asking what was the topic discussed. I could not answer that. I felt so bad after that. I was sitting on the entire class for 1 hour and I was not listening a single thing, single aspect what the teacher was saying. It was so embarrassing situation. That the reason is that traditional learning, our attention span has gone. Even now the attention span has been reducing. I was in engineering before many years, and now it is reducing a lot. That's our problem. Huh? So what is the, by 2025, millennials will make up to 25% of the workforce, and the average attention span maximum is 90 seconds. 90 seconds. So if you are a teacher, your primary challenge as a teacher is to have the attention span of the students, maintaining the attention span of the students. That is your primary challenge. How are you going to maintain the attention span? Students will lose interest after some time, go to a dream state. So how are we going to maintain that attention span so that what you say reaches them? They benefit from the lecture. That is our primary challenge. That is going to be our challenge as a teacher. Why micro learning is effective? This is how it is. So first reason is the students are going to learn in a bite-sized learning. They are going to learn at their own pace. They are not going to hurry up, cram, own pace. That's the first thing, first benefit of thing. The second aspect is they are more focused. When you study something in bite-sized videos or learning whatever media you use, it's more focused. For example, I told you about gardening. You learn to how do you plant a particular, how do you learn about a particular plant, okay, and you implement it. It's more focused. You are not learning about the entire gardening. You are just learning only about the particular plant. So it is more focused. So the learners digest only small chunk of information, not everything. As I told you about the cooking example, you only learn to make a particular chicken. Okay, for example, a particular type of chicken fry. You are not learning the entire cooking aspect for how to cook everything. You are learning only about how to make a particular chicken. Okay. So micro learning addresses only one or two learning objectives or courses. It doesn't address everything. Okay. It addresses only a particular aspect of learning. I'll tell you another example. If you are a cricket player, if somebody is a cricket player, you learn to play a particular shot. Okay. For example, you know, the Dhoni plays a helicopter shot very well. He might have practiced so many times. How many times he might have practiced that? He did micro learning. He learned to play a particular shot so many times, so that what happens? It becomes automatic. Okay. It requires less attention, less effort from individual sessions. So we can focus more on a particular session, and there will be more retention compared to the normal learning. Okay. So this is what it is. Traditional learning, macro learning, mobile learning. Okay, we are going to compare this with other kind of learning mechanism. So what is traditional learning and macro learning and mobile learning? So whatever we have been doing is traditional learning. That means what? We have our lesson plan, and sorry, we have our lesson plan. We have our PDFs, PowerPoint slides. So what we do is we just want to cover the entire lesson in a period of time. So we are oriented towards completing the syllabus. That is the thing. So what we do, we try to teach them in a classroom-based environment. Okay, it takes a lot of time again. For example, daily come for the class and learn the entire syllabus in a sequential manner, one by one. And bland and monotonous text-based lectures. There is a started research being based in this. Our traditional teaching methodology, where the teacher comes and teaches something for 1 hour or 2 hours, has been ineffective. Something like the retention rate is around 7%, 7 to 10%. So after this, it has been not that effective, but we are used to this rote learning. We have this kind of learning methodology, this kind of teaching methodology we adapt. We go to the class, give a lecture, come back. So as I told already, I was giving you my own example. I was in the class for 1 hour, but I don't know what was the topic. I was entirely in my dream state. So that is the problem with the traditional kind of learning. So there is interesting statistics here. What is our concentration time? 7 minutes maximum. When you, I told you already, when you are listening something, after 7 minutes we lose our concentration. We go to our own thinking process. So that is the problem with traditional learning. Okay, bland and monotonous text-based lectures. I would suggest something. We as a teacher is a dynamic process. Teaching is not something which it's not based on knowledge entirely. Okay, we may have all the knowledge in the world, but we are not able to deliver it, or we are not having a systematic approach, you will not be a good teacher. So I will not. I used to always say, okay, it's not that how much you know, it is how much you deliver, and how much, what kind of strategy you use for delivering, how you deliver, that matters more. And there are two kinds of learning approaches: the macro learning and micro learning. What is macro learning? I just compared this two. The micro learning is born. It is a new concept. It is not something which was there before many years. What is micro learning and what is macro learning? What is the objective first? I need help now. This is the objective of micro learning. Macro learning is I want to learn something new. I'll tell you an example. Same cooking. If you want to learn to cook a particular chicken, it is micro learning. If you want to learn the entire process of cooking, it is macro learning. You want to learn everything about cooking, it's macro learning. If you want to learn only about a particular chicken fry, it is micro learning. For example, macro learning, let's compare to the cricket. If somebody else wants to play the cricket fully, everything, we want to know everything about cricket, it's macro learning. He wants to learn a particular shot, to play a particular shot, it is micro learning. So what is the duration here? 2 minutes or less. Several hours per day. Correct? And this is topic or problem based. This is a topic or problem based. I'll give an example. Suppose there is a rude client. Okay, you're working in a customer care. So you are going to face a client which you don't like. So what do? You go to the YouTube and find or search something online and how to deal with a difficult client. That is the topic. See something about that. Okay, smile more and smile more and try to engage the person. Something like this. You learn that. That is micro learning. Whereas when you learn the entire customer care approach, it is macro learning. Okay. Search by asking a question. Search by asking a question. Correct? So you ask a question and you want an answer for the question. That's all. You're not going to learn everything. I told you about an angry customer. How do you console an angry customer? That's my objective. I learned that. I apply it. That's all. I don't think about anything else. But when I learn about the entire customer care, how do you manage your customers? That is macro learning. Okay. So what is another aspect of micro learning? There's another aspect. Indexed and searchable. It is indexed and searchable. You search for something. Okay, you are not searching the entire thing. How do you manage conflict? Okay, how do you manage conflict? For example, how do you install a particular software? That is micro learning. Okay. Here, exercises are graded by others. Our traditional learning methodology, students submit assignment, and we are grading the assignment. We are correcting the scripts, everything. Index and searchable content rated for quality and utility. Okay, we need a particular information. We care about the quality of information. It should be applicable immediately. Okay, whereas this demands coaching and support. Okay, what question we ask in the micro learning? Is the content useful and accurate? Is the content useful and accurate? For example, how do I install a particular software? I need to learn that and install it. That's all. Okay. When it's macro learning, we think whether the author is authoritative or educational. Our learning mechanism where we study a particular subject. Okay. What are the tools? Video articles, code samples. When you are doing macro learning, we study about MOOC program and online lessons and everything. Okay. So, I just 1 second. I leave the text document. So, learning is of two types. One is macro learning. Second is micro. So, what is macro learning? For example, customer management. Two-day class. What is the example of micro learning? How to deal with angry customer. Okay. So this is what it is, an example of a micro learning and a macro learning. So if I ask you a question, which is more efficient? Which is more efficient? Micro learning is definitely efficient, but we need both. We cannot rely only on micro learning and not macro learning. Macro learning is important, but micro learning should be an important component within macro learning. Micro learning should be within macro learning. So what happens is you should be having this micro learning approach towards the individual topic, whereas the overall approach is macro learning. Okay. So both can complement each other. I'm not saying that micro learning should replace the macro learning. And what I'm saying is we should be having both kinds of approaches towards our teaching processes as a good overall all-round teacher, which we are aiming at. Okay. So learning curve. We told you about the learning curve and the retention rate. What is our objective for teaching? First of all, our objective for teaching is not to make students cram something and write the exam. It is something which we give them a life skill so that they can apply themselves in day-to-day life, and we are making professionals. We are making a man-making mission. Right? So that's what it is. This is related to the company. For example, somebody goes to the company. What kind of approaches? How the graph goes between micro and macro learning. So when you are new on the job, they start with the macro learning. They tell you everything about the processes. Okay, these are the processes, and these are, for example, somebody joins in a somebody joins in a plant. For example, a mechanical engineer. He may be given instructions about every machine which is there in that particular plant, everything. Then we move on to the next step, go to the micro. We learn how does a particular machine work, right? We learn how does a particular machine work and learn to use that machine properly with a lot of precaution. Okay, we move on from macro to micro, and we keep on learning micro. We are keep learning small steps in that. How to operate a particular machine, how to run the machine, how to run the machine for a long time. What happens if there is a problem? We learn like this, small chunks. Okay, this is how we learn. Like this it goes. So what happens after a period of time? You become seasoned. You know something like that. The approach should not be macro. If the approach is macro, what happens? The retention rate goes down. Pace of learning goes down. We should be going towards micro. Then what happens? The graph keeps on going up. So if you are managing a company, you should be having both kind of approaches. The macro learning approach and the micro learning approach. You start with the macro learning approach, but overall, it should be in a day-to-day activity. We should be focusing on the micro learning approach. Okay, don't think about overall kind of. For example, I'll tell you an example, a real-time example, real-time analogy. If you want to reach a place, you focus one step at a time. Okay, if you are focusing on what is there in the next street and walk, you'll hit on somebody. So we'll hit on somebody and we will not reach the place. What we do is we just see what is next, what is the first step, what is the second step, what is the thing which is there near. Okay, we don't think about far off things. Just an example of this. How does the micro learning work in our day-to-day life? So this is an important statistic, sir. This shows that we should be doing our micro learning, micro teaching approach in the company as well as in the college environment. Mobile learning. For example, when I was studying college, we didn't have this mobile learning that much. Mobile phones were not there. We didn't have the opportunity for micro learning at all. Micro learning was difficult. The reason is, if I want to do micro learning, I should go to a library, I should browse a book, I should get to a particular concept, learn it. It's going to take a lot of time for me. Now what we can do is, nowadays modern students, modern day kids, they can just Google it and learn a particular thing, particular aspect. They don't need to go and keep on researching from books, which what I did when I was studying in college. So learning from your own device. BYOD, bring your own device policy. That's a very important thing. We can ask them to bring a tablet. I saw something which is before some years. I don't know whether it is there now. Students are not saying wrong or right. I'm just saying my perspective. Students were not allowed to bring their mobile phones or tab to the classes, and they were not allowed to bring the tablet or any kind of devices to the class. I would say sometimes this approach will backfire. We are wanted to implement latest technology in learning. So when we say this technology is not allowed in a class, then we are moving backwards. We are not moving forward. I'm not saying that when you are teaching a particular student should more browse a mobile phone. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the technology should be part of that classroom. That is what it is. The bring your own device policy. Learners can learn at their own pace. Okay, we are not forcing them to learn things. Cramming again, cramming thing. We should be against cramming hereafter. So cramming doesn't have any point. Okay, passing the exam is important. I'm not saying that clearing the exam is part of the process of education, but that is not the only objective. That isn't part of the objective. That's not the objective. So the future depends on the learning assets we use. Okay. What is the benefit of micro learning? Deliver learning at a very low cost across a large number of employees. We don't need to deliver everything. For example, you wanted to say something, you just prepare a video for that particular aspect. For example, conflict management. How do you manage conflict? Methodology. That's all. So we are not going to see the entire stuff of managing people. We are just seeing conflict management. How do you deal with angry customer? How do you deal with angry employee? Like this. Okay. I already told you about that. Both are being used. We use both of them. The mobile learning provides this micro learning because it provides instant access to information. Google something. Just Google it. Easiest way to manage conflict. See what is that. Apply it. Okay. How to install Adobe Flash Player. Micro learning. We only learn to install Flash Player. We don't learn anything else. Okay. How do you correct a particular error? What is the meaning of a particular error in a program? Micro learning. Okay. The micro learning is a new approach to the content delivery based on learning and retention. Okay. The content should be more precise in a real-time context. The comfort of our own environment. So whenever as a teacher, when we are teaching a particular topic, it should have an objective. You know the reason I asked you the objective for this. Yeah, I asked you your objective. What is your objective for learning this particular webinar? The reason I asked you is, I want you to bring you back to this micro learning approach. I want you to get something out of it and apply it immediately. Okay. So let's go to the micro learning example. How do you implement the micro learning approaches? Okay. So how do we implement this micro learning approaches? There are different ways. One is the videos, flashcard, whiteboard animation, infographics, educational social media. These are some of the ways where the micro learning can be applied in learning environment. Okay. Let's go to the first aspect, video. Explainer video. Launching a new website, your SEO checklist. What should be your search engine optimization checklist? Something, this is an explainer video. Just Google how to launch, what are the SEO checklist for launching a new website. This is an explanation concept. I told you an example of cooking, gardening, how to play a particular shot in the cricket, like this. How to use the vacuum cleaner, for example. Google how to use the vacuum cleaner. Explainer video. So there will be a video, switch on this machine and how to use the vacuum clean. Okay. So this is something, even they have gone to the extreme level, you will find videos of swimming instructions in video as well. Swimming. Okay, swimming needs to be done in a swimming pool, but you will find instruction of swimming. So this is an explainer video. For example, I found statistics about the videos. Videos to be effective, you can note down if you want. That is a very important point. 6 minutes long. A video should be 6 minutes long to be more effective as in a micro learning perspective. It should be 6 minutes. It's not long video of 1 hour. When you see a video of 1 hour, it's not micro learning. It's macro learning. It's not specific. It's not precise. But the video is something like few minutes, 5 minutes, 3 minutes. It is micro learning. So what is the statistics is 70% of videos on YouTube are how-to video. Okay. 70% of videos are how to do video, how to video. 82% of traffic will be in the future, in the 2022, it will be videos. We'll be only using videos for learning day-to-day life. Okay. And very important, interesting thing, mobile flashcards. Mobile flashcards are a very interesting way to learn things. It's something like apps on that mobile phone. So I'll give you some of the examples of this. Mobile flashcards. There are different kinds of applications for that. The first one is called as Quizlet. Google Quizlet will find about this particular app. It's an app used for, it's a flashcard based app. Or you can use an app called Xylem. Or there is it's just Google flashcard. You'll get this flashcards. There's an app called flashcards in Android. So all this kind of apps can be used. So this is an example of flashcards. Quizlet, Xylem, flashcards. You can, it suggests that we can ask your students to try this app as a learning modality. Okay. Adaptive flashcards. So what happens is there is a question and an answer. You recall information from the other side. So like a quiz. Okay, and it gives you the correct answer. Okay. Whiteboard animation. Say this is a whiteboard animation. Get out in nature, stay hydrated, exercise, and try this just today. Interesting, huh? What it does, 4 tips to distress. For example, I might have used text in this, but the whiteboard animation, what it does, you have a storytelling in audio narration. And 1 second. Like this. So whiteboard animation is a way of micro learning, where we use the images and handwritten illustrations to demonstrate a particular concept in the form of story. Storytelling is something very, very effective way of teaching. So this is one of the example of using this concept. Interesting, huh? Infographics. Everything comes under a single picture. You see the picture, and everything is there in this picture. Okay. So, for example, COVID-19. We see everything about COVID-19 here in a single picture. Okay. Interesting, right? Could you hear all of me? Could you hear me? Yeah? Just okay. So this is an example of micro learning approach. We just see this picture and we know everything about COVID-19. We are not using a text-based thing. Interactive infographics. This is called as the interactive infographics. Okay. This is another example of interactive infographics. History of hashtags. Instead of going on for text-based information, we use this infographics which contains all the content in a single frame. For example, it started off in August 2007, and Twitter was using it in July 2009. So how it is being used, the history of hashtags. So this is more interesting compared to using a text-based information, where it is not a good medium of instruction, where we use only the text. But when we use the interactive infographics, what happens? It is more interesting. Micro learning with social media. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. And okay, TikTok has been, I think, banned recently due to some issues. Yesterday, I saw the news. Anyway, TikTok is one of the apps which has been used. Many of us were using it. TikTok was banned in India. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. People use this for micro learning. They get some information and try to find out. For example, you want to learn about some aspect. You learn a particular group and find out forums there. Let's say gardening. You want to learn about a particular plant. You go there, join a community, and learn about that from that, or Instagram or Facebook. Next is, even university uses this micro learning course. This is from USA, the Northeastern University College of Engineering, and it is based on Boston. So what they do is they give information about their particular websites. And they are using the Twitter, and they give information about this. For example, here are 5 tips from Mary Kane, the faculty advisor of Northeastern. Malathi, tell me. Tell me, madam. What is that? Yeah. What is that? Okay. Anybody? If I could not hear.
Okay, I can't hear your voice, sir. We can't hear, sir.
Okay. Now is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Is it
Yes, sir.
breaking? Okay. You just tell me. I just want you to tell me whenever it is not clear. Okay. So this is what it is. How to become a better public speaker. They share this post in Twitter. This is a micro learning approach. We are not learning much. We just learn about something about how to be a better public speaker. Okay. So this is an example of micro learning where Twitter is used for micro learning. So what we can do as a university, we can also use this kind of social media platform and give some information in small chunks. How to be a better speaker, how to motivate yourself, and how to attend interviews confidently. So we can post something like this in our Twitter and Facebook groups, and so that the students learn and understand a particular aspect. For example, how to be confident in interview. Okay, That is the only aspect. That's an aspect I want to learn, right? I can just go to the Twitter page of that and see that concept and apply it. So what I'm saying is, we can leverage this Facebook, we can leverage this Twitter for learning purposes. We can use it for enhancing learning, to teach them learning. We can just post information on Facebook and Twitter, and students may see and learn this, and they do micro learning in this. Okay. So you give a resource, you give a link to the particular video. I would also suggest something. Each one of us, each of the faculties, we have our own skill sets. So what we can do is, we can have our videos, small chunks of videos, and put it on YouTube and share it with students. And we can share it with the group. Tell them to see this video. It's a useful tip for you. Okay. How to stay calm under pressure. Okay, for example. So these are the things which will have a life-changing impact for students, apart from our regular classes. Okay. Like this, whatever aspect we are in, whatever we are specialized at, we can make a small videos and put it on YouTube, or share information on Facebook. For example, Facebook's and Twitter and YouTube, we have to use it in an effective way. Sometimes Facebook is a great social media, great media. Right? The problem is, the Facebook is being not utilized effectively in most cases. It's being utilized for sharing something which is not relevant. It's not useful. Huh? We should utilize this platform, leverage this platform for our students, so that they get benefited. Okay, we need to share information, small chunk of information on Facebook, and students will find it very interesting, because a particular faculty does that, and they find it on this one. What are they going to say? They'll find it enthusiastic and see the video and learn. But it should be small chunk. We are not going to talk for 1 hour in a video. Okay, we are going to make a video for 5 minutes, which illustrate a concept. That's all. Even we can use it in a technical aspect. We want to teach inheritance, object-oriented programming, inheritance. A small chunk of video to demonstrate inheritance. That's all. That video should be only for inheritance, not any other topic. To teach inheritance, to teach polymorphism. So we should make it in a small chunk of video, so that it becomes a micro learning approach. We are not going to make a 1 hour lecture which illustrate all the object oriented programming in a single lecture. We are not going to do that. We should be able to do small concept, so that students will find it effective. And this is one of the approach which I suggest as a teacher. Okay. For example, this is a TikTok video. February 11th, Women's Day. So within something like 5 to 6 seconds, it contains all information about all renowned women who made changes. 15 seconds. So here, this TikTok video is about 15 seconds. It forces the user to focus only on one key idea. What is the key idea here? Women empowerment, who are being a role model. Women as a role model. That is the key concept. We are not saying anything else. The 15 seconds is focusing on women who have achieved. That's all. Okay. This is an example of micro learning. Can we forget this video? No. Now we understand. Okay, these are the people who made great contribution. These are the women who made great contribution, and we should remember them on Women's Day. Okay. For example, this is another video. 98 squared. How to use the 98 squared. Just a demonstration of this. Only this. There's nothing else. See there. That's all. The answer. Small chunk of video which demonstrate how to do 98. This one. Will student understand this way? Definitely. Because we are not giving them too much of information. We're just giving them small chunk of information for them to understand. So attention span, do we need attention span more? No. Correct. So the next aspect is the chart. We can use a chart like this to demonstrate micro learning. For example, this is about onboarding of employees and what are the trainings being offered. This is a single kind of this one. Okay. The single chart, we find all the information: new employee onboarding, compliance training, software training, soft skills training, and sales training. What are the trainings being offered on the company? We make it as a single. We are not giving separately. So, new employee training, micro learning solution, welcome videos, timetable interaction, FAQs. That's all. Compliance training, we give informational video, scenario-based activities, assessment activities in a game format. Micro learning approach. Software training, again, scenario-based activity. We give them a scenario, train them. That's all. Screencast, digital aid job aids. We are using some of the aids to teach them. Soft skills, we use an audio podcast. For example, how to ask questions in a constructive way. Okay. How to introduce yourself in a meeting. That's all. I learn how to introduce myself in a meeting. I don't learn everything at the same time. So you have audio podcast. This is how do you greet people. Informational video. Again, small chunks, 5 minutes, not very big videos. Branching scenario with personalized outcomes. Okay. Scenario with personalized outcomes. I ask you a question, object. What is your objective for this course? Okay. That is matching scenario with personalized outcome. Okay. And sales training. So this is an example of a micro learning approach. Okay. So using a chart, single chart, which has all the details. So to summarize, micro learning is a very important aspect of learning approach. Okay. So they fit in the challenge of business and education today. What is our biggest challenge? Is attention span. Our attention span is very, very less. Right? I told you that our attention span is less than a goldfish. Goldfish has more attention span than us. Okay. So what we do, we keep on looking at the mobile phone. And what I will tell you about this attention span, the dopamine, there is a neurochemical called dopamine. What happens is, second. Could you hear my voice, please?
Sir, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. I was saying about the attention span. Now, dopamine, what it does is, it makes and keeps us obsessed in things. We keep on looking at the mobile phone. We just type something. We keep on just checking whether the answer is coming, whether the reply is coming. So our attention span has gone down because of the smartphones and our digital tools. So we need to do something for this to cater to the attention span of students. We know that the attention span of students is very less. Then how are we going to be a better educator? Delivers learning in a way that can be observed and applied on demand learning. I told you the variety of examples for this. Okay. How to make a video lecture, how to do something. I told you most of the YouTube searches are how to searches. So on demand learning. I want to learn something, I learn at that time. That's all. I don't learn the entire thing because I don't need to do that. Those engaging tools that drive participation is very important. We used to use videos, we used to use the flashcards, and we had to use tools to engage participation. Again, the reason is attention span. Okay. Reaches everyone that needs it. Our learning needs are different. I learn particular things I have a different objective. You will have a different objective. Somebody else have a different objective. Our learning objectives are not same. So we cannot have the same methodology for everybody. So we need to have different methodologies. What I want from a lecture could be different from what other people want. For example, there is a soft skills training. Some people wants to be a better speaker. They want to be some people want to be confident. Some people want to manage time in a better way. Some want to start an interview in a confident manner, and some people want to be more productive. So our needs are different. Our needs are not the same. So a common approach will not work because the individual needs are different. Okay. So it deals only with the learning that is relevant to for each individual. Now, as I told already, each individual have different needs. So micro learning, what it does is it approaches learning in a way caters to the individual needs. It is not a common aspect. So what it does, it approaches a particular learning aspect. It approaches the individual needs. Okay. These are the references which I took for this webinar. And thank you. Before that, I want to ask you a question again. I'm not going to leave you before that. So let's move back to this question because it is aftermath of lecture and I want your ideas after that. So okay. So the question here is, how are you going to apply the concepts of micro learning in teaching and day-to-day life? Please think of this, ponder on this question, get this perspective of this, and I want you to come up with the answers. I will give you something like 2 minutes time to ponder on this and think of the answer. You as an individual, how are you going to apply this concept of micro learning in your teaching and day-to-day life? So can we do that? Please write down your answers. You can use your mobile phones or anything, doesn't matter. But I want you to just think of the answer and write it, whatever comes to your mind. Just write down whatever comes to your mind, and you as an individual, how are you going to apply this concept, utilize this concept in teaching and learning in day-to-day life? Okay. So shall we have our answers, please? Just tell me the answer. So, can anybody share the answer, please? Just tell me, how are you going to apply this concept in teaching hereafter and in day-to-day life? If anybody who has written what you have written, please tell me. Let me know. Yes, please. Yeah, please. You can unmute your mics and let me know what you have written.
Okay, so one of participants written like that. I can teach them small portions with most suitable examples, and at the end of the class, we can repeat the core concepts too.
Very good. Super. Yes. Teaching in small chunks with a lot of examples so that they understand a particular concept clearly. For example, a lot of things are there. I told you about object inheritance and object-oriented programming. We just teach what is inheritance first with an example of whatever it is.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Any other answer, please? Anybody wants to share? How are you going to apply it in teaching in day-to-day life?
No, sir. No answers.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Any questions you have, you can ask me on this.
Okay, sir. Rukmini? Rukmini, can you handle this session?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a knowledge probleming session, gaining more from the micro-learning. I'm sure the knowledge transformed will have a boosting, enrich informative idea for all the needful participants. Thank you very much, sir. And we have one question, sir.
Yes.
Can micro-learning ensure depth of the knowledge to the learner?
Definitely, because we are learning in small chunks. Our attention span is not the reason it gives depth is we learn something and implement it. I told you how to plant, how to use a particular plant, how to cook a particular dish. What we do is we learn to learn that a particular dish. For example, chicken fry. We try to cook chicken fry. We watch the video again. If we have doubts, again do it. What happens? We become perfect in making chicken fry. That's an example of a micro learning. So what happens? It gives you a depth because we are learning only a particular aspect. You can watch another video which says the same concept, which is being a different person, but the concept is same. We are not going to different concept. Thereby, what happens? We learn in depth about a particular concept in depth. That is what it is. So micro learning helps us to learn in depth a particular concept. We don't forget it at all.
Thank you so much, sir, for the informative idea.
Yeah, thank you. Is there any other question?
No, sir.
Okay.
Now you move on to the end of the session. Vote of thanks. Okay, sir. Good morning, everyone. I, on behalf of Department of Computer Science and Engineering, I take this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this webinar. First of all, we are thankful to our chief guest speaker of today's webinar, Dr. Vivekanandan Padmanathan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Yeah, glad to meet you all today.
Okay, sir. Yeah. We are really enlightened with your knowledge and presence, sir. Thank you, sir. And we are thankful to our management team, Chairman Thiru K. Loganathan, sir, Vice Chairman Mr. L. Naveen Prasad, sir, Director Mr. A. Swabinathan, sir, for giving us an opportunity to organize this webinar. We are also thankful to our principal, Dr. T. Saravanan, sir, for his providing encouragement and support. We're also thankful to all heads and faculties of all the departments. Uh, Finally, but not least, our heartfelt thanks to all participants for associating with this webinar by your presence this morning. Have a wonderful day. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Madam Anita, Madam. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And I was very happy to be here and share with you, talk with all of you. Something like the knowledge sharing is very useful at this stage of I would like to request all of you to use this concept and make it effective. Effective utilization of concept is very important. Okay. You can teach our kids also how to use this and things like that. Learning is all about application. So I want each one of you to take this in that perspective and try to apply this concept in day-to-day life and to our students. Okay. Thanks a lot. Sir. And we will see some other practice in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks. Shiva sir, shall we end up?